Shout out to our sponsor, Loot Anime.
Yeah, get a crate of anime and manga goodies for only $24.95 each month.
Use offer code THEKNOW and get $3 off a new subscription.
Cheers, love! The cavalry's here!
Welcome to The Know, I'm Meg Turney.
I'm Ryan Haywood.
Overwatch's open beta is over, so you know what that means. It's time for Blizzard to do some not-so-humble bragging.
Yeah, we know what you're just dying for a daily dose of statistics, and you're in luck! Overwatch had a huge beta. In fact, it was one of the company's biggest betas ever.
In fact, the biggest beta ever. The company made the announcement via Twitter saying the world needed heroes, and an incredible 9.7 million of you answered the call. Here's to our next adventure.
That is a lot of butt poses.
Yeah.
In a separate press release, Blizzard also announced that Overwatch had over 4.9 billion minutes of gameplay, totaling up to over 81 million hours from 37 million matches.
CEO Mike Morhaime also chimed in about the fantastic beta performance, stating, "We're thrilled that such an incredible number of players from around the globe got a chance to check out Overwatch during the open beta."
I bet you they're thrilled with all those dollar signs.
Yeah, make it rain.
Mike. Morhaime went on to add, our mission was to make sure as many console and PC gamers as possible could experience the full game ahead of its launch. The response was overwhelming, and we hope that everyone had a blast.
Since it's Friday the 13th, we could think of nothing more horrifying than a death by statistics. Yes. So let's assess how Blizzard's butt pose simulator stacks up against the competition.
Yeah, we did it twice. This totally eclipses some of the other huge betas we've seen recently. The biggest being Star Wars Battlefront and Ubisoft's Bug Apocalypse: The Division.
Yes. Each of those marked the biggest betas ever for their respective publishers, and at the time, speculation that they might be among the biggest betas of all time.
Thanks to other bragtastic info dumps, we know that The Division saw over 6.4 million agents hit the buggy streets of New York, which, let's be honest, the streets of New York are actually pretty buggy. That's pretty par for the course. Players averaged around 5 hours in the game each, with 2 hours spent in the dark zone.
Battlefront, on the other hand, boasted 9.5 million players. Now, interestingly enough, they also put their minutes played, which gives us a nice comparison to Overwatch's open beta stats.
That game had 1.6 billion total minutes played, compared to Overwatch's 4.9 billion minutes, which indicates that the people who were playing Overwatch were playing it much more, say 3 times as much.
Yeah, now to be fair, Overwatch's beta ran for 9 days while Battlefront's was just 6, so it does make some sense that there'd be more playtime there, but 3 times as much, it's a pretty big jump.
One of last year's other recent beta juggernauts was Destiny, which had 4.6 million Guardians vying for more light. In some of the weirdest marketing speak ever, Bungie referred to that beta as their most simultaneously played beta ever.
Yes, that's what you want. The PR departments, man, they're getting good at that whole verbal gymnastics thing. Gold medal for Bungie.
Destiny, of course, did not release on PC, so that definitely put a dent in its beta numbers.
We could go on and on about last year's betas, but let's move on to the more recent betas that we've seen.
Overwatch's biggest competitor is Battleborn, which just came out earlier this month. Gearbox did an open beta for it as well, and the numbers were way different.
Gearbox shared that Battleborn pulled in more than 2 million players in its beta, which is a fifth of the number that Overwatch is doing now.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah.
But at least Battleborn is selling as well as Borderlands 1, right? Yeah, there's something Gearbox has been bragging about lately.
Okay, you tried. Still in the realm of Gearish proper nouns and betas, the Gears of War beta also ended recently, with Microsoft announcing that 1.6 million players took part in that beta. 1.6 million, seems like a big number, then you put it in context of Overwatch, and then it seems really small, but also keep in mind this was platform exclusive, so.
Yeah, those numbers are especially interesting considering that Microsoft did not publish Halo 5's beta numbers, instead focusing on minutes played, so it stands to reason that Halo 5's beta was even smaller than that.
But the legend of Overwatch's girthy beta doesn't even end there.
According to a Steam Spy tweet, the Overwatch beta caused an 8 to 15% dip in peak concurrent users for some of Steam's top games, including GTA 5, Team Fortress 2, CSGO, Civ 5, and Garry's Mod. Totally unaffected, however, Dota 2.
You keep on keeping on. It's of course, though, the most telling stats here are always porn, and my favorite stats. According to Pornhub's data, Overwatch searches jumped 817% during the Overwatch open beta, and most of those searches centered around Tracer.
Porn does so much for us, but one thing it never does is lie.
That's true. So by all accounts, especially those porn numbers, they're probably looking for the butt. The game is going to be an enormous seller for Blizzard when it finally comes out, and probably a pretty popular search term for porn sites.
Yeah.
By the way, at this point, none of that should be a big surprise, seeing as how Blizzard basically just prints money at this point.
Basically, all their franchises turn into powerhouses, really. Even when they do start out a little rough, like Diablo 3 somehow quietly became the 10th best-selling video game of all time with 30 million copies sold.
Then, of course, there's World of Warcraft, and while we don't know total lifetime sales right now, we do know that it's more than 100 million accounts created.
We know that betas don't always turn into huge sales, but for the most part, the numbers stay fairly consistent. Battlefront turned those 9.5 million players into over 14 million units shipped, and The Division set all kinds of records when it launched as well. We're not really sure how many exactly, but comparing it to other record-breaking Ubisoft games probably places it somewhere between the 9 to 10 million zone.
While both of those games have suffered with player retention, The Division apparently has seen an 81% player drop-off. They at least moved the units. So.
Yeah, they're in a store somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably returned there once or twice. So even though all signs point to Overwatch having an unbelievably successful launch, we'll see if the content keeps players coming back for more. Blizzard definitely tried a curious strategy of providing all of the game's content in the beta.
It'll be interesting to see if the move pays off, which it will. It's not even that interesting. It's just going to be friggin' great for them.
I'll buy it.
It certainly might have been one of those things that attracted people who jumped in on the beta, seeing if they enjoyed everything the game had to offer, and they did, so they'll be coming back.
Yeah. On the flip side, there's always a chance that it backfires. If people have felt that they've experienced it all, they might not come back to have the urge to return to it so soon. We've seen data that shows demos kind of hurt sales overall, dropping them as much as, say, 50%.
We'll find out if it all paid off for Overwatch when it launches on May 24th. Until then, you can keep Pornhubbing Overwatch characters to your heart's content.
Can we go do that now?
I'm sure you've already done it, sir.
Hey, I haven't, but now I need to.
Now you will.
Get at me, Pornhub. What do you guys think? Will Overwatch's huge beta translate to huge sales? It's Blizzard, so yes. And how many of you played in the open beta?
For everything Overwatch related, like this video and subscribe to the Know. Thanks to Loot Anime for sponsoring this update.
Loot Anime sends you over $60 worth of cool stuff starting at $24.95 each month.
Each crate has a theme, and this month's theme is Unity.
The power of teamwork!
Yeah! The new crate features exclusive items from Full Metal Alchemist, Dragon Ball Z, and The Boy and the Beast, and tons more.
Get it before it's gone, though, because they sell out quick.